Good evening. Two yachtsmen rescued from their disabled catamaran off the Wairarapa coast and put ashore near Otago are now on their way home again. The two were taken off their craft in heavy seas by a container ship, and they had to stay with it until its first port of call, which was Dunedin. Mark Price reports.
When the two men set out from Tauranga earlier this week, Dunedin wasn't on their itinerary. But late on Wednesday night, bound for Nelson, things began to go wrong aboard their catamaran, the 10-metre Merlion.
We lost our steering for some reason, which we don't really know why yet. And she just went with the weather, and the sail blew out. The one sail we had up blew out, and from then on we just drifted with the wind.
In a force 9 gale with 4-metre waves, they called for help, and their call was answered by the container ship Cornelis Virom. The men are both former merchant seamen and had plenty of praise for its captain and crew.
And it's a superb piece of seamanship on the part of the captain of the ship.
Did you get a wet hide during the incident?
Yeah, we got a bit damp here.
And were you concerned at any time that maybe rescue wasn't at hand?
No. When we saw the ship, we were more than confident.
The men left their catamaran adrift, but upright and with minor damage. They hoped to recover it.
After 18 months of work, the new Maori hall at the Otago Museum is nearly finished. It's costing $250,000 and will feature a model of village life in the South Island 600 years ago. Kathy Graham's been along for a sneak preview.
The dismantling of Te Maori provided the space and the inspiration to remake the museum's Maori hall. The project's been 3 years in the planning, with most of the museum staff working on it for the past 18 months, including several specialists on contract. Sculptor Helen Budd's transforming the bones of the largest bird ever known on Earth from its original standing position.
It was previously mounted in a standing position with its neck upstretched, and so I'm trying to make it sit down by working out where the joints and where the legs will go when it squats down as if it was sitting on the nest.
The bones of Dionis gigantea will be a feature of the hall, along with this moa egg dug up from the archaeological site at the Shag River mouth, which has provided many of the exhibits for the South Island half of the hall. Designer Lyndon Cow's artwork will bring the site of the dig back to life. The village, depicted as it was 600 years ago, dominates the southern side of the hall.
In the old days, museum displays, especially Maori displays, were terrible. They were cases full of dusty objects. And this time we hope people will go away excited by the information behind the objects and with an appreciation of their beauty.
With just a month to go before the official opening, the pressure's on. Bilingual labels are being prepared for the exhibits. They've been assembled over months and are now ready to be mounted. That'll be the last job. These birds, salvaged from the peninsula, will form part of the village exhibition. They're a sample of what would have gone in the pot. They'll be covered with blood and flies to add to the realism. It's expensive, painstaking work, costing all up $250,000.
We mostly have benefited from trusts and grants, and I may say the Lottery Board was our largest granting agency, but Dunedin's got some wonderful trusts. They've given us money. Individuals, societies, together we've raised $250,000.
The new hall will open on the 23rd of June.
Pupils and staff at Forbury School in Dunedin had something to celebrate today, and local Member of Parliament Michael Cullen was there to help them. It was his job to officially open the school's newly refurbished junior wing. The wing includes 4 classrooms, a library and play areas, and has been extensively upgraded during the first term. It's expected it'll get plenty of use from the 5-, 6 and 7-year-olds at Forbury. Dunedin Rehabilitation League staff likely to be made redundant next month in a major restructuring of their organisation announced earlier in the week are concerned for their clients. Most of the 49 staff in Dunedin are expected to lose their jobs, leaving hundreds of clients with an uncertain future. Kathy Graham reports.
The League, originally set up to rehabilitate returned servicemen, in recent years has broadened its scope to cater for various disabilities. It offers assessment and job training in woodwork, sewing and various other skills. But with the cuts, all these will go. Clients like Thalia Stewart, who's been training in cleaning, will have to look elsewhere for support.
It's really boosted my confidence. I feel I can go out and hopefully get a job and give it my best, and I've also learned a lot of skills which will help me in my future. I just feel it is a good place, definitely a good place.
Stephen Campbell's ambitions to get into catering. He came here unemployed and has done so well he's going on to polytechnic training.
You learn how to cook meals, cater for about 50-odd people, do your sandwiches, make baking needs and all that.
And how have you found it?
Very enjoyable. Right, if it's the job you want to get into, right, this is the place to come to, in the kitchen.
A lot of people have used this place as a place to mature, particularly the young children who come straight from school. There is nowhere else in Dunedin which offers us the long-term security that we have been able to offer that sort of person.
Carol herself now faces the prospect of unemployment, but for the League's clients she feels the future's much bleaker.
Some of them will go to jail, the young ones. More of them will get into trouble if they don't have a secure place that they feel they belong. The psychiatric people,
Finally tonight, netball, and Otago coach Georgina Salter will name her Otago squad for the season after final trials tomorrow. She's been watching a host of hopefuls this week as Otago prepares for a big effort in its Jubilee year. Ken Nicholson's been watching too.
It's been a big week in the south as Sandra Edge, rated the best centre in world netball, took her club team Hamilton Old Girls on an unbeaten jaunt through Oamaru, Dunedin and Invercargill. The trip allowed local coaches a chance to play trial squads against top-class North Island opposition before naming their squads for the rest of the season. This was particularly the case in Dunedin, where new coach Georgina Salter faces a tough task in preparing her team for the Trust Bank tournament in Otago's Jubilee year. In only 3 seasons, New Zealand reps Julie Carter and Sharon Burridge have transferred north, while other notable losses include Bev Gordon and last year's top player Kirsty Broughton. But with Otago being so dominated by varsity players, it's a perennial problem.
It's hard when there's a university-based team that's the top, which means they're all young, and we haven't got the experienced heads that, like just Hamilton Old Girls, you can see the extent of Sandra's wisdom on the game. And they're a young team, but with Sandra there, it lifts them right up and they become experienced because she helps them along the way. We don't have that, so no, we play a quicker, rushed game, and the girls are not playing with their heads as well as you saw with Sandra.
However, there were positive signs in the 3-goal loss to Hamilton, with regular reps Trudy Lawson, Nikki Hurd and Janine Brown all playing well. Tomorrow, a final squad of 12 will be named in Dunedin for the Queen's Birthday Weekend tournament, this being reduced to 10 for the national champs.
An important weekend for Otago netball, and it does not stop there. 3 of the region's top rugby sides will be in action. In Whangarei, Mike Brewer is back to lead the Otago team against North Auckland. A win will give Otago the Cairns Series title for this winter. And in Oamaru, Southland will seek its 3rd win in just 5 days when it takes on North Otago. Also hoping to retain winning form will be the Otago Nuggets basketball side. Having broken the ice last weekend, it's looking for further success in a home match tomorrow night against New Plymouth. And if skiing is your thing, don't forget the big snow show at Dunedin's Town Hall. It's on all weekend. Have a great one. We'll be back with you on Monday. Good night.